presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Ben in San Jose. Ben, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
I just wanted to thank you and your team and everything. I've been using your technique with the 10-minute charts, watching the VIX, and just making a fortune here on the futures.
Isn't it interesting? That's awesome, man.
It's wonderful. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We kick things off on Wednesday, and it is a Jobs Wednesday, folks. We got delayed data still coming from the government shutdown, and you get 130,000 jobs added. The markets rejoice initially, but since then we've given it up. Yields, though, a little bit higher. We have not given up the fact that the market's pricing in less cuts than they were at 8:29 a.m. this morning before we got that jobs number. 130,000 jobs added. Unemployment rate, 4.3%. And we got the S&Ps up by 5 points right now. We take a look at the volume in these indices with 1 hour left to go in trading. And yeah, you got some decent volume. Okay, well above what we've had the last couple days. It's been a vapor-thin volume market the last couple days, especially in metals and in equities. Today, S&Ps already 1.2 million contracts. That'll happen on a jobs day when you get non-farm payrolls. We get CPI numbers on Friday. So that's going to be the next event. NASDAQ right now, up by 91 points, up 0.3%. Already doing 475,000 contracts, pretty much in line with what we've done the last couple of days with an hour left to go. Dow slightly in the red. Look at this channel the Dow's got going on, right? Poof. Dow. And same deal. About as much volume as we did the last couple of days with an hour left to go. Dow down by 54 points or 1/10. And the Russell under pressure, man. And look at the selling in the Russell, right? That is a spike in volume. We got an hour left to go. The Russell, 177,000 contracts. And how about this for intraday? The Russell goes from 2720 down to a low of 2646. We talk about 75 points, 74 points. Almost a 3% pullback from highs to lows. Russell off by 0.5%. You jump over to yields. Maybe the biggest story of today. Dollar as well. But yields, yeah, we're still a solid 11 points below where we were coming into that number. We came in at about 120.19. We're at 112.19, and we're at 112.09 right now. The 10-year, where are we sitting? 4.18. As yields go up on the 10-year, catch a little bit of a dollar bounce to 96.87, and we jump over to metals, hold them up well. Gold up $80 at 51.09. And you got silver right now up $3.57. Now, taking a look at the volume. It's still a very low volume day, folks. I talked about it this morning on the morning program. You know, be careful in this market, okay? It is vapor thin volume on this bounce. Even the first bounce, going back 5 days ago, okay, last Friday, 105,000 contracts. Since then, 65, 51, and today you're at 58. That's some of the lowest volume days we've had all year, dating back even in the last year. You jump over to gold, pretty similar action. Look at this volume drop off, especially the last couple days. Yesterday, you do 100,000 contracts. We do 118 on Monday, and you do 117 on Friday. Excuse me, 171 on Friday. A lot of you listeners out there know this market. You follow the volume. And you know that that is nothing for a market like this, especially with the type of price action you have going on. Okay, we just traded from 46.70 up to 51.10, and you got no volume on this daily basis. You jump over to a weekly, look at this. Now, we're 3 days into the week. You got two days left. Folks, we're 3 days into the week, and we've only done 342,000 contracts. The gold's been doing 300,000 contracts on a lot of these big days. There is no volume whatsoever on this bounce. Doesn't mean you can't drift higher, but in terms of real strength, be careful in this market right now. Back to a daily, platinum up by $37, up 1.7%. Same deal with platinum. A lot of low volume days compared to the volatility we had even on the way up. Look at some of these days in platinum. As you accelerated from 1,800 up to 2,900, right? We were regularly doing in platinum 50,000 contracts, 53, 41, 68, 51, right? Not even cherry picking the highs of 86,000. We did 11,000 contracts yesterday, folks. You did 19 the day before that. Very little volume in this market, especially in metals on this bounce right now. You jump over the VIX, 1748. And the trend has been higher prices, but the VIX down 31 pennies today as we get over one of the hurdles, and that's jobs. And let's talk about those jobs. Now, I want to take a look at the front page of the Journal, because the front page of the Journal, when you just look at the picture, this is the healthcare and social assistance jobs, folks. Just those two areas. It's what's plowing this market higher. That's it. Okay, we added 130,000 jobs on this go-around. The unemployment rate is 4.3%, and now they're pricing in less cuts because we have an economy where the unemployment rate's dropping. We're adding 130,000 jobs a month. The unemployment rate's going down. The odds we need to cut when we still have inflation, and inflation's Friday. We get the CPI numbers on Friday, okay? But we added 130,000 jobs, folks, and out of those 130,000 jobs, I think it was 128 were in healthcare. Let's see what they put it. Yeah, healthcare and social services. Come on, where are my exact numbers? Nope. All right, I'll pull it up at the break to get the exact healthcare and social services. I was reading a different article earlier, and the number is basically almost 130,000. You look at all these jobs, folks. We only added 100 and... What would the revisions bring it down to? 181,000, I think? Is that the number? Yeah, 181,000 jobs added last year. The previous estimate was 584. You get the revision, and that is in 2025. Okay, 180,000, 181 to be exact, in 2025. And meanwhile, last month alone, you had healthcare and additional social services coming in at almost 130,000. It's what's driving this market higher. And yeah, healthcare workers, period. End of sentence, man. So you're talking about home health aides, residential care workers, that's other social assistance fields. Professional and business services added 34,000, nope, tens of thousands, 34,000 were lost across financial activities and information. You also had construction growing, 33,000 jobs. But guess where they're growing? For data centers. That's where there's construction. Not on the home builders just yet. But check it out. Today, they're going higher again, folks. We've been talking about these home builders. Lennar up by 1.1. KB Homes up by 0.8. We'll take a look at them. Come right back, folks.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by 5 points right now. NASDAQ 100 up by 91 points. And yeah, we take a look at these home builders. So continuing the climb. We're at 120. All right. And yeah, you don't necessarily have the volume on this one. Okay, but we're coming into all this volume right here. We'll see if we can catch a bid. You have a nice sign of strength on February 3rd. Will you catch that acceleration from 108? This is Lennar right now. Things dropping off a bit. You're coming into this area right here. Okay, you have a high out there of 119.32 of January 9th. But realistically, folks, when I started looking at these, okay, this was the strength. This is when, man, you had people loading into these equities, potentially thinking, right, that we're going to start getting some cuts. We're going to get a new Fed chair. We're going to get lower rates. That's going to spur the economy. Didn't quite play out, but it is coming, in my opinion, folks, okay? I think we're going to see at least 3 cuts this year, and that would just be, as I've talked about, a Fed chair that comes in. If there's no cuts by Powell, and it looks more and more like there'll be no cuts by Powell, especially if we get 130,000 jobs and unemployment's going down to 4.3%, then the new Fed chair comes in June, and if they cut in their first meeting, they have 5 meetings. They could cut, take one off, cut, take one off, and maybe cut again. I think they're going to run it hot, and we'll see if inflation can stay where it is, because it's still hot. But is it going down or is it going up, right? Lennar, though, on a weekly, yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, we get a short week coming up next week, too. Markets closed for President's Day, Washington's birthday on Monday, this coming. So we got a short week next week. Lennar, though, up by almost 1% right now. D.R. Horton, zoom in on them. See, not as pronounced as all that buying that came in Lennar. Really liked it. You have a nice sign of strength out here in January at D.R. Horton, where you pushed as high as 157 from 137. The volume's dropped off a bit, but I like all these right now. But put stops in them, folks, and everything in this market. That's what I'm saying. Put some stops in, because we got two-way volatility markets right now. And again, not quite the same. You look at all these home builders, right? KB Homes up by 0.4%. But Lennar, that profile of people loading in, that was quite an acceleration of volume. And we've pulled back on lighter volume. I think this market's poised, and you're seeing kind of a wind-up right now. I mean, look at, we're up $13 from where we were last week. All right, we check out the tech companies. Amazon continuing lower this week. We put it back to a daily. And yeah, just chopping around in this bar from their earnings. Amazon down another 1.2% today. Not Micron. How about this equity? Up 10.3%. My goodness, man. Look at this. New highs of the day. So yeah, this one, you got Micron. After Morgan Stanley reiterated the overweight boosted the price to $450 and said, yeah, everything's going just fine. The high volume production of their HBM4 is starting to ship. Basically, everything's going fine. They were worried about the opportunity, but guess what? He looks to have delivered. Inaccurate reporting about the company's next generation high bandwidth memory positioning, saying Wednesday morning the company's offering is in high volume production. Shipments to customers have successfully ramped in the first quarter and a year ahead of when the company was initially expecting. And how many chips are usable, right? What's the yield? Oh boy, these chip stocks, man. Micron adds another 11%. Take a look at the volume on this thing. Whew. This is strong, man. This is how you like to see an equity ramp up, okay? You know, December 22nd, look at the volume. Every week you're going up. Not every, right? But pretty much, even a run to the highs. Put this thing on a monthly. Watch this. How's that for ramping up? Micron. Testing the highs on a monthly, up by 10.5%. Check out the other chip stocks, Broadcom. Yeah, this is a little problem on Broadcom, right? You get all this selling, and then we get the rise on light volume. You got less people in the store, folks, and they're raising the prices. All right, we talk about some of the banks on Jobs Day. And pretty much as expected here, the Fed supervision staff told banks around the nation earlier this month that examiners would begin reviews of the outstanding warnings and that they signaled to lenders that it plans to abandon some of the confidential warnings it previously sent to them to improve operations, as you have the Vice Chair Bowman continuing to relax the oversight of the banks. And yeah, so some of the confidential warnings sent to them, they're going to abandon them. That's it. So they're going to review those warnings and eliminate those that don't align with the new directive to focus on immediate risks. Immediate. Why go out forward looking, right? Whew. I hope we're not getting too short-sighted, folks. You know, our memory seems to get pretty short-sighted when we get over some of these things that were put in place, and it's always a fine line. The review will ensure examiner supervisory findings are based on deficiencies that could create a significant probability of harm to a bank's financial condition, rather than concerns about policies, procedures, and controls. Matters requiring attention and matters requiring immediate attention. The Fed will issue those directives during its regular exams, but the threshold is going to be higher. It's just a constant line. You know, this is the worry, all right? And this is not a worry right now. The banks are on fire. But what happens is it's always a constant push, okay? And on a day like today with the banks in the red, look at this sell-off. JP Morgan down by 2%. Bank of America down by 2.3%. Oof. Look at these banks. Citi off by 3.4. Let's take a look at the volume. Get some bad ticks in these banks, which confuse the charts a bit. Yeah, look at the selling we got the last couple days. Wells Fargo just traded down $6 from 95 to 89, and you got volume. See if we have it today. Not quite up to where we were yesterday. Wells Fargo down by 3%. Citi on their numbers. All right, not really too much volume on this sell-off on Citi. We jump to JP Morgan right now. Yeah, light on the volume here on the sell-off on JP Morgan as well. And that's quite a sell-off, man. From highs to low on JP Morgan. Look at this. Yeah, the market says, no, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, actually. Maybe they were going to like, right? That the Fed was going to be cutting the overnight lending rate. That doesn't seem as likely anymore in the near term. JP Morgan down 2.1%. S&P is up by 4. Come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now flat. NASDAQ 100 slightly in the green, up by 61 points right now. Dow off by 70, Russell off by 17. A little bit of selling right now as we got about a half hour left to go in trading. And we jump into HOG, Harley Davidson. So quite the volatility on their numbers Monday after the bell. You accelerate lower. We get it. They get it back during the earnings call. We're down another 2.5% today. This thing, you talk about under pressure, man. From $31 in September, you back it up from there. $50 in 23, a high of $44 in 24. Yeah, and you're talking about, my goodness, all right? Back to where we were. Party like it's 1999 on Harley Davidson. Now, for you traders out there, the one thing you're doing is you're coming back in here to support of where you were in 2020. Remarkably, you're talking about the COVID lows, and you did get as low as about $14. So you're still talking about, 30% below where we are right now. That's why it's so hard to catch a falling knife, folks. And this is a falling knife right now. You look at the volume on this thing on a monthly, just accelerating big numbers the last couple months even. You put this on a weekly, and look at this. Just ramping up. Whew. It's going to be a big week. Now, I bring them up today. Great article from Bloomberg talking about they might go to junk status, man. Yeah, let alone what the chart says. That's a problem. Harley-Davidson may get cut to junk by the S&P after their earnings report. The company is seeing declines in sales, 12% fewer motorcycles, and the ratings firm said it plans to decide whether to actually cut them once the company announces its new strategic plan in May. Tell us about this turnaround plan you have, Harley-Davidson. BBB minus, the lowest high-grade rating, with the lowest of the best. Getting cut to junk can boost a company's borrowing costs substantially over time because a smaller set of investors can buy high-yield bonds. And you're going to pay more of a yield, right? Period. Higher risk, investors demand a higher reward. But yeah, that's where you are, man, on this company. Jump over the Analyze tab on Harley-Davidson. And at $20, we're talking about a company right now. It almost doesn't make sense, right? The brand alone. What's a Harley-Davidson brand worth? The whole company is worth $2.4 billion right now. But guess what? Doesn't matter if you got junk status with debt and the value of your brand is not worth the debt you have. That's the conversation that goes on here. And you're talking about potentially getting cut to junk. So, tough go around for Harley-Davidson, to put it lightly. And yeah, sad news out there. They were talking about in the Tigers Den. James Vanderbeek, unfortunately, colorectal cancer. Found it in 2023. And he couldn't make it to a Dawson's Creek reunion or something a couple months ago. And he looked very, very thin. And he passed away. It was either yesterday or today. I think it's today that he passed away, unfortunately, James Vanderbeek. And man, whether you're talking about Varsity Blues, Johnny Moxon, right? Whether you're talking about Dawson's Creek, of course, and good old his buddy Pacey on there. And, that show, I was talking about this with a buddy earlier. Now, that show was on, it's got to be in the 90s, late 90s, maybe? 95 to 98, something like that. Let's see when Dawson's aired. Let's see when it, unfortunately, all that's going to come up right now is Vanderbeek. And he's got 6 kids. Just brutal, man. 1998 to 2003. All right, a little bit later than I thought. So maybe around my senior year of high school. Going into that summer. Yeah, they had everything, man, on that show, Dawson's Creek, if you recall. They had kids sleeping with teachers. They had everything, man. That encapsulated everything going on. Hey, nonetheless, sad deal, man. James Vanderbeek, 48 years old. Whew. Get yourself checked out for cancer when you can, folks. And that one, that's a tough one to catch. But unfortunately, that's what happens. And that one in particular, 48, yeah, they start some of those screenings at 45 or even earlier if you have any type of family cancers that are in there as well. All right, we just got markets chopping around. Gold holding up well. Listen, you got light volume, but doesn't mean this market just can't drift higher. Okay, you want to trade this market, just keep your stops tight. That's why I encourage you, because we have very thin volume right now, but this market just keeps creeping higher. It does. Right now, we're up by $3.59, 84 bucks in silver. Not bad. I say not bad as in we are holding up well, but difficult to step in front of, folks. Volume runs it all, and there is no volume right now in that market. All right, we talk a little bit about the Fed. It's not the one. Let's get it up here. All right, so right now, if you think we're going to get a cut in the March 18th meeting, then God bless you. You're with 5.9% of the probability. Very unlikely that happens with the data we have right now, but guess what? We get inflation data on Friday. Everything can change with that inflation data on Friday. We get CPI data. It's going to be in focus in a big way. But yeah, very little chance that we're cutting right then. And look how just difference a day can make. And hey, this might spin around on Friday. Okay, you go from a 20% chance of a cut yesterday at the next meeting to only 6% chance right now. You go out to April 29th, the chance of a cut by that meeting, 20% right now. Yesterday it was 36%. And then you go out to the next meeting when you get a new Fed chair, which is June 17th, and finally the market says we think we're going to get a cut by then. 10% chance we get 2 cuts by then. And you go out to December in terms of where the market puts us this year, pretty much a bell curve right around 2 cuts. Where 2 cuts would bring us to 3.25%. We're currently at 3.5 to 3.75. And yeah, you got almost an exact bell curve, right? 33% in the middle, 24% on either side, 9% and 7%. Still a 7% chance that we get no cuts all year. Imagine that. 24% chance that you only get 1 cut. Combined, you're talking about more than a 30% chance that you get 0 or 1 cuts all year. 0 or 1 cut. So rates going up today. The 10-year right now, and you check out the 2-year, ZT. Yeah, quite a move there and not much give back. The 2-year right now, down about 4 ticks at 104.82. We're coming right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps up by 4, NASDAQ 100 up by 89 points, and digesting that jobs number. Hot jobs number today. We got yields moving. We check back in on the dollar right now. The dollar, 96.89. You got an initial bid with higher yield, but realistically, you haven't caught the bid that you might want. As in, that was quite a number, right? If the dollar cannot catch a bid, and it can't, folks, it's up by 9 pennies right now. We're under 97. Okay, if you can't catch a bid on a day like today, watch out. What would have happened if we went the other way? The dollar's under pressure. Cannot find a bid right now. Even when you get yields higher, okay, and we got the economy adding 130,000 jobs. You have the unemployment rate at 4.3%. And the dollar says, no, we're good at 96 and change right now. 96.89 and that dollar. All right, we'll check out the heat map. Now, it's not the biggest ones. It's not quite the usual culprits, right? The usual culprits are the biggest equities out there adding to this market, but it's not. You got Microsoft lower. You got Apple dealing with some woes, but they are higher as they have a little reset with their new software that they're pushing out. They're going to push it back to some of the further generations as it's just not ready. But Micron with a good update. Look at all the chip stocks. Intel up 2.6. Texas Instruments. AMAT up almost 4%. Lam up 4.2, Clack up 4% as well. We got Microchip, Monolithic Power, NXP up 6%. Let's look at NXPI. Look at this move, man. Breaking above the highs, and you got decent volume. Look at this weekly volume we're going to get. Yeah, nothing like last week on earnings. Well, we got 2 days left of volume, and we're going to do almost 10 million shares already. It's going to be a big week in general. Nothing like the volume we had last week, though. Jumping around. Lam up by 4.3. KLAC up by 4% as well. All right, we'll jump over to Apple. So, Apple, intraday. How's that for a sell-off, man? And yeah, that's when the news hit that they're pushing back some of what they got going on. And what they got going on is iOS. So the long-planned upgrade to the Siri virtual assistant has run into snags, pushing back the release of several highly anticipated functions. They were going to include those in the operating system they were pushing out next month. Apple's now working to spread them out over future versions. Some of them you're talking about in May and others out in September. And man, they've been doing this for 2 years. They're going to run the Elon Musk playbook in 2 years. Not a kid, but look at this, right? They first announced plans to revamp it in June of 2024. They showed off the capabilities, and we're not there yet. The upgraded Siri is going to let you use your voice. They were due by early 2025. They delayed the rollout in spring of that year, instead saying it's going to be 2026. And they never told you when, but internally they had settled on that target, and they're going to miss that target as well. So imagine you put in all this work and then they test it and it doesn't work. Siri does not always properly process queries or can take too long to handle requests. Man, so they're pushing it back by 1, but it's a problem on a larger scale. And they have a long way to go. What I was going to say is, right, we all have that deal. We play with our phones. They say play whether you're texting somebody, whatever you're doing. There's so many simple functions on the phone nowadays where if AI was as smart as they say it is and it was operating in the background, just simple typos that get made, simple things that get done, emails I'm writing, maybe there'd be an autocomplete that pops up that's just nonsense, right? Where 9 out of 10 humans would know the exact sentence I'm going to complete because it fails to add the context of what's going on, right? Like if you look at a text or a chat in the context of what's above it, it's very simple to understand what you're saying, and it spits you out things that make no sense. And in my head, I say, this is where we are. We have a long way to go. So, hey, we'll see if it goes on from there. Not the end of the world if you push it back a couple months, but they better get it right, man. That's where the anticipation builds. And this thing, yeah, it's been a rocket ship. And put this channel on your chart, folks, if you're trading Apple. Okay, you're talking about from the COVID lows. How about it? Well-defined channel, and we're approaching the upper boundary of that channel line. Put this on a weekly. That was some nice buying last week. You know, I've been watching this thing. I would love for it to get to the bottom of its channel. And you really want to see it do that on some lighter volume. And see how you get the sign of strength? Okay, now, yeah. The tariff lows, almost everything had a nice sign of strength. Okay, but you're looking for something like that before you step in when you trade lower. And hey, Apple's got strength right now. And they've been a safety play to a certain degree, right? When you get the chip stocks trading off, Walmart and Apple, the two of them, just huge safety plays. And even on a day like today, look at Walmart, man. 2 days away from all-time highs, you're sitting up 2.05% on Walmart, up $2.60. Check back in on those home builders. Lennar up by almost 1%. DR Horton up by 0.5%. KB Homes up by 0.5%. Checking on Google. Yeah, giving back some of those gains just that quick. Google's down $40, folks. 8 days. 8 days. You're back $40. I mean, look at this. You get back 3 months of gains in the span of a week almost. 2 weeks of trading. And that's in when you had quite the escalation fall in their earnings. I mean, remember, this thing almost got it all back on their earnings. You came into earnings at about 330, 335. You opened at 306, and by the end of the day, you were back there. But since then, it's been all selling on Google, down by 2.4%. Microsoft under pressure as well. And Amazon. Look at this. Microsoft off by 2.4% right now. Amazon off by 1.1%. Think about that, right? We have the S&Ps in the green. NASDAQ 100's up by 100 points. You have Amazon down by 1.1%. Microsoft's off by 2.25%. And Google's off 2.4%. Hey, there's some big winners too, right? Micron, the chip stocks, as we talked about. You still have Apple in the green, even though they've had quite a pullback. All right, yeah, let's talk about some of these equities. Look at Palantir off by 3%. Boy, this is an ugly looking chart, folks. The only saving grace might be that we have a low in with all this volume. Somewhere near about 128 to 130. You know, when it's this pronounced, folks, that's where it really, and I had, look at this volume, right? You climb the whole year of 2025, and the whole time you're doing it on lighter volume. The lightest volume day of them all. That was, lightest volume week was Christmas. And since then, we're down from almost 200 to 135. Be careful of this one. Palantir off by 3%. We're coming back, taking a look at Robinhood. Be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out, like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. S&Ps right now on a weekly basis, you're up by 5 points, but watch this volume, folks. Okay, we are 3 days through the week, and you're only talking about 3.6 million contracts. We've been doing about 6 million every single week since the beginning of the year. So we'll see if the volume can hold. If the market has the momentum to keep up with these prices. It does so far. We had some selling last week on the NASDAQ 100, though. We'll see how the volume comes in. You take a look at the daily. I was talking about lighter volume days than we're used to. Today's going to be a bit of an uptick, though. NASDAQ over 500,000 contracts. You got the S&Ps right now. A little bit of an uptick at about 1.3 million. We jump back to the metals market. See if we got some volume coming in towards the end of the day. Yeah, not so much, man. 123,000 contracts on gold. Folks, we were doing 200,000 contracts every single day for January and then back some. Can't overstate how light the market is in metals right now, even with the type of price volatility we have going on. Silver, 59,000 contracts, more than the 51 we did yesterday. We'll probably reach that 65 where we were on Monday. Excuse me. But man, can't overstate the lightness of the market in metals right now as we chop around near 85 bucks on silver. And it's everywhere in metals. Platinum, same deal. Look at that volume. Yesterday, 11,000 contracts. That's it, the whole day on platinum. All right, folks. S&P's up by 3, NASDAQ 100 up by 82 on a Jobs Wednesday. Remember, we get CPI data on Friday, and the market's closed on Monday. So that's going to be an interesting one as well. Of course, we got Thursday trading before Friday. Folks, thanks so much for spending your afternoon right here with me on the Tom O'Brien Show. Couldn't appreciate it more. Have a great night, folks. Have a safe night. Enjoy it out there, whatever you're doing. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock for the morning market kickoff. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks so much.
Building wealth